what's up, guys? Welcome to Squad Ops Saturday event session 1. Today is Operation Chainlink, and we're actually kicking it off already. We are live, and we are following the Russians today. Russian command is Jack, and our SLs are Dorf, Silas, Storm, and Server. And for the enemy, militia, our command is Expert, and we RSLs are Jenkins, HML, Triton, and Jack 808 0800. So it looks like Jack is actually going to try a two-prong assault. I've seen this assault tried many times. I had one time where we actually just rushed in there, and I'm glad he's not doing that again, because last time we did that, both of our transports with people actually got blown up. So it looks like he's going to take a more strategic approach and actually think it through a little bit and try to see where the enemy's at, try to react to that. I think it's a good approach. We'll just see how it works out and see how the defense is lined up.
Actually, new plan. We're gonna drop off the squads in H633. That is between those two rock croppings on your map. Repeat that grid. Grid for drop off is now H633, just north of two rock croppings.
Copy that. You want just Dorf squad to drop there?
Dorf and Silas's elements are gonna be hopping out. Is right here. This is the drop-off point. Let's pull off the road and drop our squads off, please. Right,
So it looks like the infantry is going to dismount here and move on foot.
This way minimizing noise distance.
Let's see. I wonder. That's a pretty long walk. I wonder. It looks like they're gonna use this defilade up here, cause in the fog, to their advantage to kind of sneak their way onto the point. But like I said, it is a very long walk. Don't know if I agree with that, but we'll see. I mean, he's using stealth, so let's see how it works.
Yes, he does.
Yes. Start pulling direct west now. Let's get as far around as.
So let's go ahead and take a look at the actual map of the op dock while they're getting ready for this
Command,
assault.
do you want me pushing east now, or do you want me to stand back for a bit?
What you see here is the militia have basically have a defense point. They could put the fob in one of two locations, real close to each other, in this little ravine, and the Russians have to attack it. Basically, pretty simple op. Like I said, I've seen this go many ways, but it's pretty much attack and defend. The Russians are trying to attack the militia that have held up camp on this farmland here, and the militia trying to defend. That's pretty much it for this this op-doc. We're gonna go over here and see what militia has for the defense while the Russians are getting ready to stage their two-prong assault.
They don't get a run logi, do they? My driver just said he saw a vehicle drive away.
Yeah, they get one techie logi run. If you see it, eliminate it.
Copy.
So, as you can see, this is one of the two spots of the that they can actually put that fob. They can put it right here, or they can put it just on the other side of this, right here next to this barbed wire. I actually like the spot they picked with that big rock there. It really
They are
does
aware
help
we're in the
conceal
south.
that. It looks like they have sandbags all along here, which is smart. And all this foliage right here, it does definitely does help. Um, I feel like they could have utilized this building a little bit more. If the first stage of their assault they managed to push through to the gas station into this building, they have a superior position over that over this little ditch here. So I feel like they just really need to
What's the status on
be
that vehicle?
smart
Enemy
on the
technical?
defensive side on
We
where
had
they're
no visual.
watching.
The driver called it out at the main.
But
and
other
so
than
they
that,
drove away.
I like what they have set up here.
Copy.
Let's see if
What's
they
your
can use it
position
to their
right now?
advantage.
We are India 1039.
Good copy. Is the vehicle inside main or returning to the position?
We not sure. My driver was unclear. He just said
Copy.
he saw it leaving the main. Where's our dismount location? Are we going
So
further
it looks
east?
like they have some people up in the north. That's a good
Dismount
play.
location is anywhere in
Um,
J9
Looks
or
about
A9.
like a
It's
fire
up
team
to,
size element. You got
Stormfront
two
or whatever.
guys, a
I
buddy
don't have
team
the
up
laws
there,
with
and a
the
3-man
dismount
down there
units.
in the
Copy
northern
that.
ditch.
I'm gonna dismount us right about where we are. I'm getting up on a ridge and then I'll dismount us.
Alright, good copy.
And it looks like this transport is going to come up on this ridge right next to the militia buddy team up
officials.
here, and they might run right into him. Let's see if the militia can call it out and have superiority. They have the stealth right here.
Server, get on my east.
And it looks like there's just two of them. I don't know if I agree with just having two of them this far out, but at least they might be a scout pair, so that's a good size of
Alright,
infantry
sir,
for
we're
two
gonna bring-
people to handle. So
Alright, we're gonna
it looks
start our
about
as soon as server
like
position called out, server.
Russian has about two
Copy.
squads
We're
up
into the scene
here.
now.
About two squads up here, and they also have an MTLB up here. So what I think they're gonna try to do is put this MTLB up here on this ridge and look down onto the enemy's location, but and have infantry move in down the ridge as well while the MTLB covers. And I think the first phase of the assault is actually going to try to push almost to the edge of the city, maybe just use this tree line for cover, and they're going to attack.
Server, make sure you have good security to your east when we hit that ridge line.
Yep, we're ready to go. One of our ARs is AFK put.
Okay, let's begin our push then. Walking peace.
And it looks like the phase 1 team is actually just waiting for this phase 2 team up here that dismounted on top of the ravine to get ready, but they are pushing, and I don't think phase 1 team is pushing yet. And now they are. Okay, so now they're gonna start to push. Looks like this phase 2 team.
We have contact on our position to our northeast north. 2 times infantry, 50 meters out.
Oh,
Copy.
there's
You'll be
more
able to
guys
spawn
up here.
Bomb them with forest. Dwarf, let's start prepping to move more south. Tree line, we're in across the road. Roger.
So we're overall with force. You want me to push forward, correct?
And there was guys hidden right here, right in front
just
of them.
bound up with Stormfront. If you have to sit there and engage the contact first.
Looks like there's one left of that little buddy pair up there. I don't think he's gonna last too long, and I think he goes down right here. And he does. So it looks like there was about a squad up here. Or, yeah, about a squad up here. To delay them. Well, now,
Techie right in front
the
of us.
only good thing that the Russians have is their whole assault's not up here. So they do have the phase 1 team that can easily push in. And, well, this is going on up here. But it looks like phase 1 team is actually breaking off and sending some guys over here while the others are pushing, but I don't know if I agree with that. I think they should actually use this to their advantage and actually push down onto the point while the enemy team thinks they're all up here. Looks like the militia are falling back off of this ravine. They realize this is too big of an element.
Halt the advance. We're on top of the ridge line.
All right.
Casualty
It
reports.
looks like Russians are going to hold the advance and
Status
get
update, please.
casualty reports and get some status
1 second.
updates
We
and
lost our
just regroup themselves.
That's it.
Any enemy KIA?
It looks
There's always
like
one of our guys
that
people.
the militia,
Say again.
Squad 1
Killed
full
at
strength.
least 2, sorry. We killed 2, maybe 3.
And did we destroy the
so it
enemy
looks
vehicle?
like
Negative.
Russia lost 1
Copy.
and militia lost 3.
Alright,
But pretty
Chief
good.
Secure Bridge, use the
They
MTLB
managed.
and start putting some
I was
fire
kind of
down the
afraid
trench line. We're
that
gonna
if
have
they
3
bunched up, because
search
they
units
are
once
really
the
bunched
assault
up, the
has
Russians
commenced.
are, that if militia just decided to throw a grenade right there, that he would get a lot. But
Lay low for now. 3.
and these 2 militia are just hiding in plain sight. There's no way that he can't see him.
Storm, let me
But
know
he's
when
just
ready.
holding fire as he knows there's too many of them.
copy that. I'm gonna have 2 stay up here and provide a base of fire and a reactionary force while my squad moves down.
You know,
Copy.
you know, like what is going through the
Stats
minds
that
of
you'll
these
give
2
us.
militia? Just watching a
We're good
whole
on ammo, good on
2
health. We're
squads,
trying to
you
get
know,
a position where we
half
can
a
see the trench, but
platoon
there's so much fog.
of Russian
Copy.
infantry just
Field
walking
3
past
can
them.
take the
Just
MTLB
patience
off-road and
right
flank in
there.
from the east. I know it's very open in the field. Potentially like M859 area. Can support from that flank too. Trust your judgment.
We're currently taking Dishka fire from the emplacements.
And it looks like
Could
the
be the
militia
techie, I believe,
Dishka
emplacements at
is hammering at the
approximately
MTLB up there.
Kilo
And
881.
doing pretty well,
Copy.
actually.
Kilo 881. Mark enemy technical.
I believe it's
And
emplacements.
Copy. Let's return fire on them and continue moving. Take it slow though, guys.
It looks like Jack has ordered phase 1 team to actually go to the east and flank that way. It is pretty open in the east and the fields, but he knows this.
Enemy emplacement ceasefire.
So,
Copy. Did we neutralize
phase
the
1,
driver?
he ordered them to
Sorry,
go
gunner.
to the east,
Unknown.
and he
Far
said
out to sea.
that he knows it's open. He knows that there's a lot of open fields there, but he said it's worth the risk, and he's going to try to do that. I think they're going to try to use the tree line cover that there is to help the advance. But he's wanting them to push pretty aggressively, and I don't know if they're doing that to the aggression that he wants, but we'll see if they accomplish the mission. And it looks like that militia, this little 4-man group up here, is starting to slowly creep back on this
Once you've taken that
2
trench line
squad
down the ridge there, I want you to hold until 3 can move
infantry
more
up
direct
here
east
on
and
this
get in position.
ridge. Just
Copy that.
slowly
Yeah,
creeping.
3,
They're
let's start
taking their
moving more
time, that's
direct
for
east
sure.
to get on the northeast of 1.
Roger.
Right,
Where's
one
the
is holding.
TLB right now, Silas?
It's right beside 2.
Alright, Silas, let's take that MTLB. I want you to flank south around, and I want you to position yourself somewhere on the eastern
Hey,
flank
little
with the
Joe.
fire down.
To answer your question,
We'll get over to the
no,
eastern field.
there is no
2, I
mortars
want
in
you to
this
spread your
op.
squad out more
However,
east
there
along the ridge,
was, and
Copy that.
I actually
Yes,
played
send
in
a
the
fire
ops
team
where
down
there was
towards the east,
mortars,
make it
and
seem like
they
we have
were
more
just
people on that flank than we do.
very, very overpowered, and so we actually took them out and made this an infantry op mainly. But they have HMGs. My game is frozen.
I suppose it'd help if I wasn't muted while talking. You guys probably can, and I probably just blew out eardrums. That's coming through really loud. So again, even more sorry now. Basically, if what you guys saw when we got the video feed back up and through, that we just caught, like, GG was just going out as we loaded in. Usually, I do want to apologize again. We have redundancies in place, so in case something like this happens. However, today was just not going in our favor, and the reason why we're late is because we were already on redundancy number 2. And with some of the issues we were having, it was the everything that potentially could go wrong was going wrong in some of our backups. However, that all said, we are back. We will be able to fully cover the round 2 and session 2 later tonight. We will be tip-top shape. Got a little jank, kind of funny setup to actually get this to work, because for some reason my feed was just coming in as black in our mixing suite that we have for all the different camera angles and everything, even though in VLC it was coming through just fine. So really what's going on right now is we got a screen capture of VLC, which is covering the recording of myself through OBS. And yeah, we do what we have to do to make the show go on. So I'm not going to bore you guys. I don't know. Sorry if I'm repeating something twice. It's because I did this spiel already, but I was muted. So I don't know if I said this already, but I'm not going to bore you guys with a bunch of our B-roll stuff. You guys waited long enough. Not B-roll, but like our ads, or not even ads, but like our promotional self-promotion stuff. Yeah, so we'll be kicking off round 2 here very shortly.
Remember, 2K
build. A nice, pretty view for you.
I have
to just
change a few things,
because I'm having like mirrorception going on my screen right now.
And Reed
we'll get a nice
and
view
Lino.
Ooh, we're on militia. I'm supposed to be on.
Have them? Do they have kids?
Right.
I'll do it. Why not?
Okay, so 3 and 4 are going to do the mic drop. So 1 and 2, you get 2 MGs each.
Copy.
Can
Oh,
anybody
cool,
want
I
to
did
send
that. I won't
Jack
have
another
anything.
guy? I can
That's
also.
interesting.
That way you can fill out all his special kits.
There we go. Alright, looks like on Russia we do have XBit running
Alright,
this
meet
off.
me on the hill and give you guys a little brief down.
We'll get a little view of him. You guys can listen to the command comms. I'll keep that volume up and nice while I finish sorting some of the stuff that on my end. Will just give me 1 second.
Is everybody?
Waiting on Jenkins.
Oh, okay.
I'm sending one guy over.
Alright, once your guys are set, let them spawn in, then we'll go over the overall kind of attack plan.
Who's getting MTOB?
Whoever in squad 3 or 4 thinks they have a suitable gunner driver for that thing, because they need to be good to do a
Alright.
rush mech drop. They can't be getting hung up on trees and crap.
Copy.
So I'll go ahead and I'll cover basically what we're going on in this op. So this is Operation Chainlink. This is one of our oldies. I shouldn't say oldie. It's been around quite a while. One of our definitely our older ops. The original inspiration for this, I think, was just it was supposed to be a line of people that were holding up a defense and then trying to like penetrate that and break through it with vehicles. That was the original inspiration for this. Let's see if we can pull up the map here, and then I'll cover this. Do bear with me a little bit. Was not planning on hopping in the commentator seat today. So the situation for this is that the Russian forces have taken over some farmland and they've set up defenses, and that militia has taken up some farmland and defensive positions there, and then the Russian forces need to go through and actually clear that.
Alright, we're gonna do a leadership
so
brief
the militia
here
forces
on my position.
have set up. Let's play with some of the audio here.
We'll wait for SL confirmation.
Not a platoon brief.
So the militia forces have set up a fob that they are then defending, and their objective basically is to secure and hold that fob for the duration of the scenario. So Russia's objective then, of course, is to go through and actually eliminate all of the militia forces or destroy that fob that the militia has set up. So what the assets that the militia are going to be able to get with that fob are just going to be HMGs. They're not allowed to do mortars or any of like the tows or anything larger. Pretty much just the giant dishkas that they can set up. Outside of that, they don't get anything special. The Russians, however, do get various trucks and armored personnel carriers. I don't have on this doc exactly what they get. So I do know they get some vehicles to ground, some heavy assets that the militia forces will be prepared for with LATs and whatnot, with their AT mines, IEDs, and other tools amongst their arsenal to help with their defenses. So right now, beneath us here is the Russian team on blue. Blue team will be Russia. Red team is going to be the militia. We'll go ahead. We'll check out to see what the militia is up to. And they're going to be way down here. So militia have this ditch here, come up kind of where Silas and Hollabrod are right now, where that's where their fob location is going to be. You can actually see the radio just above Reed here. So they have to, their whole objective is to not lose this radio. So that is their defensive point the entire time, which is more so this ditch of the farmland that they earlier in the day conquered and took over from the farmers that were here. There are some okay defensive positions for guarding this. I mean, of course, there's large open field, which does help since they do have some little bit of the foliage here with some rocks and some sandbags they'll likely build off of this fob to help fortify their position into that little ditch and cover the field. And they've got this building over here and this tree line to help also try to stronghold their position. But there's not too much hard cover. A lot of it is just going to be that foliage and that openness where it's more of a disadvantage for the attackers rather than being super fortified. This gas station over here comes into play quite a bit for the attackers. In prior events, we've seen a lot of the times that Russia takes over this gas station here and tries to move up to this point, and then essentially try and get across this field in whatever fashion, and then try and sneak some people around the backside over here up through these trees. So that is a common strategy. Once Xbit starts his brief, we'll head on over there to see what his plan is going to be. Xbit, as many of you probably know, designs a lot of these events and helps tweak them and things. So he does just have that innate a little bit advantage because of all the experience that comes with it. However, his opposing command, is Jack. Jack is very experienced as well on the command side. So it's gonna be a little interesting. I've got no idea who won the first round or what really even happened the first round because of, again, our technical difficulties, which I do apologize for. Yeah, this is always a pretty good one. A lot of epic battles that get duked out in those open fields. Ton of smokes, ton of grenades and whatnot. I know in the past, an earlier question that someone had about the mortars. We did have mortars used to be in this op, and that made things absolutely insane. I actually think both teams had mortars, so the Russian attackers could set up mortar position, and then so could defensively. But how it works is, I think this might be something with the mod, where if you take out, or like if you end up controlling the area of where the other team's mortars are, you can then actually man those mortars. So you can almost have 2 mortar setups to be able to attack like an area on the map. So, thank you, chat. I totally forgot that map is still up. Thanks. So that it would be craziness. It would just be so crazy, and it was just a little too much. It started to take away from the point of the experience. So maybe they'll come back in the future. Mortars are always really fun, really intense, especially for participants. When you hear that mortar shell that's coming in and just like, oh god, am I gonna have a black screen in 2 seconds or not? Or even getting like hurt by them. That the reigning fear of those mortar shells. But in this op, no mortars, so it's not going to be a worry for anyone this time. However, they do get few of these Vics. So we are running our mod today with the event. So with that, there's many changes. Most notably right now is there's very few markers on the map. So the only player markers that you're going to see on here, I believe, are going to be the medics, the fire team leads, and the squad leaders. So right now all the squad leaders are going to be down kind of where that eye mark is, meeting with command to get the plan together, and the other various dots that you see just above them to the north are just going to be those fire team leads and those medics. I'm not sure on the medics. That's something I just noticed. I thought that was limited to only FTLs. So that could have been something that they recently changed. So other than that, like, you only see a couple people, but there's actually immensely more. So it makes it for a very interesting time of not being able to be fully situation aware, because if you're not one of those kids, you can't even see yourself on the map. So it makes it incredibly difficult for the drivers of vehicles as well, because you can get lost incredibly easily when driving because you cannot see yourself on the map. Let's see here. Paradox says that SLs, FTL, and medics have been visible in the mod. Okay, cool. Didn't know about the medics before. That I knew the other two. I don't get to play in ops as often as I'd like. But
we also get one-times logi, so
yeah.
if one of your fire teams just wants to take a logi to a different location, you can do that too.
Well, looks like they're getting ready to break out. Looks like they're breaking out into squads, so we should have a platoon brief in a moment here for the Russian team. There's a lot of other things with the mod. A lot of the damage stuff has been tweaked, so we're just trying to create that really intense, hardcore, and immersive experience. So one thing I know with like the mortars, for example, we had discussed, so I don't know if it's in or not. I remember just a long time ago when we were discussing mortars, maybe like 6 to 9 months ago, we were tweaking things like how much the damage actually did and how far that went out. so that it was more likely to hurt you at a larger radius, but not actually kill you, to more emphasize that whole like fear aspect of when it drops. So it's not just that instant black screen and like you just die instantly, and because that's not as fun along the thread of why we don't have optics, because you don't want to just be walking along and all of a sudden just black screen and that's it. So we were playing with some of those values and many other just armor and other various like little tweaks to try and really make that intense experience. Another big thing that, if you probably noticed when I had the map up, is we do have some special roles all built out for different things. This op, we don't really utilize them as much, so it's not the greatest example of it, but you can see like specialist roles. We got the engineer for this team, and that appears to be we got fire team leader, and breacher. Those are a couple of the customers, and we make the recruit kit available. We change all this stuff on many of the ops, so it depends on what the situation calls for. We'll adjust what the loadouts are going to be, what the potential kits are going to be. I know the other day when we played, it was Operation Nightmare on Logar Night. The INS had a plethora of kit options at their disposal of different like roles, with like a medic versus a doctor and some of these other things that just played
3-4,
into
when you're ready,
what
go ahead and meet me at the
design
MTLB. We're gonna do
of the
a
event is going
dismount
to be.
practice.
It's some really awesome
Copy, I'm
stuff
still briefing
that
my guys. They got a
provides
lot of
of
questions.
potential for our entire event team to get very creative, working with our entire mod dev team to come up with some of those things. So and shout out to those guys, by the way, that won the mod dev team that does amazing, awesome work, and just working in the mod. I mean, that's a ton of stuff. And then the event team for designing everything. And then, of course, which I always really like to thank, is our event admins like Atomic Peach right now, who make sure that all the rules are being followed and that everything goes smoothly, and they're responsible for the events and what have you. So, and really anyone else on staff who volunteers their time. And that said, I'll plug if anyone wants to help out with some of the things. If you've got some skills with like content creation, or maybe it's web development, or even modding, or any of our other teams and positions, and you want to be able to help out and give back a little bit, we do have our staff applications linked in our README channel. You can fill out one of those apps. I will say some teams take longer to get back to you than others, so if you don't hear anything after a few weeks, that does not mean you were not considered. It just might mean they didn't get to your application yet. Oh, SOT, yeah, SOT is like the backbone team. Like, that team does like mad work. If it wasn't for SOT, like, we truly wouldn't be able to do what we do. I mean, SOT Basic, every single person that comes through our events has to interact with the SOT team. So those are the champs. Like, it personally, teaching a course like every day or not every day of the week, but like every week, and like doing that over and over again, that same thing, is not for me. So mad props to those guys who just they're awesome. That's a good crew. Yeah. So, and I believe they are looking for people. So if you are interested in helping out, I think that is a team that is wanting to pick up a few more people. We do have our community meeting coming up, so every first Monday of the month we have our community meeting, and if there are particular teams that are looking to pick up and add a few people at that time, that always gets covered in that community meeting. And also in that community meeting, we always touch on everything that is going on for like last month, things moving forward. So that's always good to attend. We do stream it to our channels, and you can ask questions in chat and whatnot, or join us in our Discord. We do host it in our Discord on Monday. It should be on our event calendar with the rest of our events. So if you are interested in joining that and kind of hearing what we've been up to and what we will be up to for the coming summer months, that is a good spot. And also we do a huge amount of time for just Q&A. So any questions you have about pretty much anything, we do take care of them. But of course, if you have questions now, I can see and read chat. So I'd be more than happy to answer whatever I can. I will disclaim I probably have some idea about something, but not 100% on a lot of things. Well, it looks like they're starting to load up. I don't think Expert did a platoon brief. Now, I feel like I've noticed this before with him, where what he'll do is he'll brief all of his squad leaders, and then he'll have his squad leaders then give that plan out to their squad. So I'm basing that just on they're already mounted up and ready to go. And they didn't do the full platoon brief. So, interesting.
Alright, we're going live soon, so final sorting. Let's get her mounted and ready to go.
We got a live time 1:39. Expert says we're gonna go live soon. So,
Oh wow.
yeah, we're basically live. We are live.
Are we live?
There's the broadcast.
Yeah.
They're rolling out right away with the trans, and Expert did mention that they get a Logi too. I don't know. I don't think anyone's taken it because it seems like everyone is just loaded up in the trans and then the MTLB.
Expert, where do you want the MTOB to hold?
So if you are just coming back, joining us, just to cover this
let's
top
go
a little
ahead
bit,
and,
basically the blue team here is going to be Russia.
Juliet
Their
5
objective
village,
is to
and we'll dismount
attack
there.
the militia who've taken up a position in the fields down over here. They've got a fob set up. You can see the radio in the dead center there, and militia's objective is basically just to defend that radio in that area. They want to maintain control of that territory, whereas the Russia have been tasked with clearing them out. So there's not too much for cover there. However, with that radio, the militia can build defenses.